without unduly scaring people, or maybe a necessary little bit of a bump, wake up, the exacting process of real wake up. The exacting process. It doesn't have to be suffering, but it is an exacting process. The old way this was said was God will not be mocked. And you can say it by Mother Nature. You can't fool Mother Nature. I was recently watching a spiritual teacher talk about how her and her husband had lost a bunch of money during the financial thing that went on a few years ago. And she expressed this sort of surprise, this outrage, or not outrage, but like this surprise that this would happen to them when they're following all the right rules and being compassionate and wanting to save the planet and teaching others how to do it and how to meditate or get in touch with their inner selves and so forth. And yet somehow they got blindsided by a financial crisis. And part of me, my jaw just dropped to the floor. I'm like, did you really think this was just a dress rehearsal, that we can safely stay behind our little gated communities and inside our investment funds and not actually have to do the work, the process? Now, I'm not saying you need to go through financial hardship and lose everything. I'm not saying you need to have cancer. You need to have your son shoot himself in the head in front of you. That you need to have your, divorces, I call it the Holy Trifecta of awakening: cancer, bankruptcy, and divorce. And in my book I say I wasn't brave enough to do all three. I would only do 2 of those at a time, because if I had done all 3, I'm sure I would have ascended right away. If you want to get past being trapped in the physical, if you want to pass the physical, the way Krishna, Jesus, Babaji, Yogananda, St. Francis, Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, that teachers have really done, you're going to have to face the physical. You're going to have to face the illusion, the Maya Mitote, dream fog, which is transcending, transmuting, upgrading the physicality back into free energy. So my jaw was on the floor just going, did you really think you could keep it nice and safe and Oprah-ize it? I'm teasing. Oprah's doing awesome work, of course. Fantastic work for helping the planet to wake up. Inspiring millions of women to step up, stand up, get up for themselves and so forth. By the way, we need something for men, just like that. Something real for men. We need our own, maybe not patron saint, and it's starting. It's actually starting. It's going to come in a very surprising way for the masculine. The real wake up for the masculine, which is already happening. And you women, quit complaining about the men are behind and slower. That's BS. It's bullshit. If you're so intuitive, so good at seeing and feeling through things, you should be able to feel what's really happening with the masculine here. So it's an exacting process. You can't fool Mother Nature. You can't. It's spiritual physics. You think the TSA security gates at the airport are good at finding stuff. How good do you think the angel of death is? The angel of death is simply a reflector, a mirror that reflects to you that which you have not dealt with as you pass out of the body. If you're completely free, if all your energies are free, you can take the body with you. It simply speeds up, like Jesus on the Mount of Transfiguration. Now I know this is way far out, and for the scientism followers, they'll just think I'm a nut job. My dad was a nuclear physicist. I went through that whole thing myself. Science school. I was going to be an MD, blah, blah, blah. Became a biologist for a while. And I know many of the masses, the normal religionists, are going to think, oh, no. And the way that is it's only for Jesus. I understand that. And I'm not expecting the whole planet to understand what I'm saying. This is just for those that have ears to hear. So for you to get past the physical, you have to learn to upgrade and pass the physical. You need to include the physical. So it's an exacting process. You can't fool those little voices in your head. The little emotions, the irritations, those are giant hints. The little still small voice sometimes is the voice of fear, of annoyance, of the things in your subconscious you have not yet dealt with, that need to be dealt with, need to be healed. Right? So trust the process, but know that the real process, half the shamans that would go out for their initiations, not half, but a significant number of shamans that would go through their initiations would die. They wouldn't pass the physical at that time. Same with the Egyptian initiation mysteries. Some of those students that went through the sarcophagus initiation, like Moses and Jesus did, died, did not come back. So, my point is, the real game is different than the yak, let's keep it safe game. The real awakening process is different. Now, unless you be scared, don't be all scared about that. You're not alone. There's so much help. And it's very, very simple. You really just need to pay attention to your own energy centers, your own inner energy. Be present with yourself, the inner body awakening. One of the simplest, most ancient techniques. We don't need techniques. Once we are natural humans, full spectrum humans again, techniques go out the window. My puppy dog does not have techniques. She's the most alive God channel around her at the moment. She has no methods, no techniquing. But in the meantime, while those can be helpful steps, the inner body is one of the most fundamental, it's like full body Qigong. And then learning to work with energy. You are only responsible for yourself, for that which is in you. You will naturally want to help, and you'll be able to help appropriately instead of inappropriately. We all know the model of the stage mom that is living through her daughter and it gets all twisted and weird and bizarre. Mommy dearest. And men who haven't dealt with their own stuff. Those models are no good. You just need to deal with yourself. You have massive amounts of help. The powers that are, the real management team of Earth is angels and ascended masters and God himself, God herself. Much larger intelligence than us, our own higher selves, if you will. It's perfectly managed. There's really nothing going on that God, in a sense, that Source doesn't want to go on. Your belief in evil or victims is a measure of your ignorance. There's no such thing, really. I loved Lady Gaga recently, who, on the Grammys, they quoted her. One of the guys singing had a quote behind him with all these different people with very powerful quotes. One of them was from Lady Gaga. Brave woman. She said, there really is no difference between the bully and the victim. Wow. All those people addicted to victimhood, that's a big mirror. Big full stop mirror, got to look at yourself. So it's an exacting process. Trust the process. You're not alone. You're only responsible for you. You're upgrading your energy system, cleaning and healing you. And it doesn't have to be a terrible struggle. It's actually a lot of fun. Cosmic giggling, cosmic laughter is the best laughter. And this will start occurring for you spontaneously. Your body will feel better. You'll be free. You'll have these yokes off of you that you've carried around for lifetimes. Past life, actual soul retrievals there's a time for those. I do personal work with people as well. So it's not a dress rehearsal when you get to the real healing, the real awakening process. This is why we often do it through emergencies. Emerge and be able to see. We do it at the Crossroads, where we meet the devil and Satan and Jesus and God, right? We have the cancer. We get to death's door. You come and do ayahuasca with us, and you will get a chance to preview your own death before having to actually do it. So like most people, the way most people die on Earth right now is they do last-minute cramming. They're trying to cram the whole lifetime into those last 30 seconds and get something good out of it. Well, you might want to acquaint yourself with this actual process ahead of time. The search for God cannot wait. Everything else can wait. You want to help the planet? Help yourself. Heal yourself. One effervescing full-spectrum human will do more than 100,000 people marching in the street yelling at Monsanto. One effervescing fountain of the actual gateway stargate into the oneness. That's what you are. You are a pillar of fire. You are a stargate. You are a literal crossing where God's source comes into the world. You upgrading yourself and frequencing, getting all those past emotional crap, subconscious tendencies, all the past karmas, all the past sins, all that stuff out of you, that's the biggest service you can do for the planet and yourself. and yourself. It's a win-win-win-win-win-win-win when God does it, when Source does it. There's no losers. The cats will win that you're trying to rescue. You'll prevent World War III. You'll make sure your family has a good image and an example to follow. You'll be helping your kids, your parents, up and down the genealogy, the DNA frequency charts, all that. So heal yourself is the first priority. It's an exacting process. You can't fool it. Trust it. You have massive amounts of help. I start now. A deeper commitment. I sounded like Bobby Kennedy there for a second. Or something. A deeper commitment to my personal awakening. I love me. I love me. I'm the only stargate, I'm the only access point to God's Source that I have. Let's work with what I have. And you'll actually start feeling real feelings of I love me. The hardest thing, of course, in the universe is for the human to actually love themselves. They will run like chickens with their heads cut off to do everything else, to rescue the world, to help everybody else, to start foundations, to do all this stuff, to avoid actually spending time looking, being, feeling themselves. But that's what happens to Buddha under the tree. He finally goes, I drop all these shenanigans. I drop all of it. And I accept fully and truly me, just the way I am. A total let go. Now the mind ego is going to mess with you on that one a lot. Oh, I can't do it, I'm not as good as those guys, blah, blah, blah. It's not true. Trust yourself. I'm the way, the truth, and the light. What Jesus tried to say with that is that I am. Kingdom of heaven is within. You are the truth, the way, and the light. You are the only access point. You don't try to walk in through a house through the wall or the window. You use the door. You are the doorway. I am the doorway. I am the gateway. The I am. The personal consciousness. All right. Exacting process. Trust it. You can do it. Those that are ready for it, millions of us are. 20% of the world population, which is what? 1.6 billion people or so. If we have 8 billion people, almost 1.7 billion when we reach 8 billion, are interested in awakening. That's a huge amount of people. All right. Love. Blessings.